following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
All right, it is time to crown a champion for the Masters of the Draft Gen 4 edition. Tonight, Talladega Super Speedway, the track that has crowned, well, 4 different champions so far in the 5 series. And we'll see tonight if Dylan Picklesheimer can put himself on that list of champions in this race here this evening. Tonight, a special title to tonight's race. We get ready to rock and roll this evening. Going to be a fun one, of course, as we get ready to go 250 miles in the Twisted Sister 250 presented by Vet to Track. I am the captain. Qualifying officially underway right now, which of course presented by Vivid EV. Hope everybody's had a great start to the week here so far as cars are out on track. You see Eddie Rorty taking his number 33 car off of turn 4. He's going to bring it to the start-finish line here, and we'll have our official pre-race show, if you will, kicking off here momentarily. The Masters of the Draft presented by Vet to Track as the 33 car crosses the start-finish line and his throwaway lap. A lot of cars here, a good amount of cars, I should say, here this evening. Most of them have completed, or at least are going to complete that first lap here momentarily. As there is your first lap, AJ Condon 51.76 in the 5 car. Shiflett jumping up there. Let's see if the usual suspects, of course, that TNT Racing team has been pretty dominant here in qualifying throughout the season here, especially this block of racing. Picklesheimer 54.74 right now. Shiflett, you have to wonder if he ran the bottom lane to be 4/10 up on everybody right now. As Hayes crosses the line, Rorty goes across the line. Ryan Wilson 51.11 with an 8. AJ going to be the first one to get back to the start-finish line. That's going to hurt his time, actually, going straddling that apron a little bit there. You got to either go above or below it. 51 flat, going to be his lap. Not much of a gain at all for the 5 car. Who's got that speed in him to be the Vivid EV Pole Award winner? Picklesheimer 51.06. You know, this is that lap. You just run the bottom side all the way around. Try to keep as much speed in the car. Do not turn as much. Condon, I didn't think would be able to hold. So far, he has. Is Gilbert 51.1. But here comes the guy that has been the fastest car on the Super Speedway single car, it seems like, throughout the season here. Al Likens, the 25 car. Purple all the way across the board as Thompson jumps up for a second, and Likens breaks the 51 second barrier, 50.999. And Al is on the pole right now. We still have 2 cars, from what I've seen here, going to cross the start-finish line. Shane Ward goes 13th with a 51.15. We'll see what he can do on this lap. Jason Branch ran I think he ran his lap in third gear, 54.48. Let's see what the driver of the 39 can do. Hopefully he's feeling a lot better. He was a little under the weather here last week. Survived and fought through the Daytona 08 race, and now tonight 250 miles here at Talladega. So he rings it through the tri-oval area. And he's in the green, but he's going to run out of time. So Al Likens wins another pole here tonight. So congratulations to the 25 car. We'll try to get a word with him. But, of course, a big shout out to Vivid EV, helping out with electronic vehicles and more. Appreciate their support here in the race, in the pole award, especially this season, and their support for the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing. So the meeting underway right now as we go into our pre-race show. I'm just going to put it out there like this. Tonight, a big night for Dylan Picklesheimer. A chance to get himself a championship here on the Gen 4 side. He's got that win. He has top 5'd every single race. He's the only driver that has done that here in the Gen 4 side. He's got a 36-point lead over last week's winner, Travis Gilbert. Joe Wells finished a pretty solid top 10 there. He's got 3 top 10s this season in the Gen 4 car, and he is 63 points in the hole. Al Likens, 68 back. Brian Hayes, Stephen Melnick. Obviously, a few of these guys still have a mathematical shot, but they're going to need a big-time miracle to get up there to Dylan and even Travis, who's right there. A couple of good stages, and you could see that 22 competing for the championship here in this Gen 4 stage. So we'll see. Got some pretty tight battles throughout the top 20. And here's your overall standings. Yes, I know it's kind of small, but Joe Wells leading by 39 over Travis Gilbert. Shane Ward is 270 points back on his own island, as he's been mostly. Stephen Melnick, AJ Condon, your top 5. Of course, anything can happen here. But it's been pretty much a two-man show throughout the point standings overall. Team points, it has been the G Lightning monopoly. Up top, his G Lightning Motors leads G Lightning Motorsports by 288 points. TNT there in third. They've been making some gains here with some wins this season. Unfortunately, might fall up a little short of catching that G Lightning Motors team, but they've done a great job here of making some hay here these last few weeks, especially on this Gen 4 side. Torque Wrench there in fourth, R&R in the top 5, and then there's everybody else, unfortunately, in the official team standings. Let's take a look at the schedule. It's tonight the last race of this Gen 4 block. We'll take a week off next week, and we come back on March 18th in the Gen 6 cars at Daytona, and it's going to be a pretty wild block of racing. As you'll notice, those races kind of extended, and you are not seeing things. That bottom race down there, April the 8th, the final race of the season, a 500-mile race at Talladega to crown not only the overall champion and the master of the draft, but the Gen 6 champion. And not only that, it'll be the last broadcast here for the Captain Esports Network before we set sail ourselves. So we're enjoying our last 5 weeks here on the air, and hopefully you guys will do the same as we get ready to rock and roll. So appreciate everybody hanging out here. Oh, pole sitter's birthday. Uh-oh, spoiler alert. Now, there ain't going to be no singing of happy birthday on my end, but we can make something happen there. Either way, but I appreciate the little side nugget there from FP. I mean, FP, does that stand for freaking pole sitter? Just a thought. All right, let's see if the meeting has been adjourned. I did not see Lauren here again tonight, so she must be getting her, you-know-what, whooped at work. Everybody leaving their channels right now, so right on cue. Let's go talk to our pole sitter here, Mr. Likens. The birthday guy, apparently, here tonight. As Al, appreciate your time, as always, seems like every week we have ourselves a meeting up here of the pole sitters. But you and your team from TNT obviously has had a really good block of racing here, another pole, and somebody told me that you turned like 61 or something today.
Yeah, I feel a bit of 61.
Well, happy birthday to you.
I appreciate it.
Well, I'll talk about Talladega here because we've finished every block of the other 4 here at the Super Speedway. Now, tonight, obviously, I don't think going to be much different, but these cars do draft really well. The momentums are big. What do we got to do to stay out of trouble here? Because we're coming off a relatively clean last 2 weeks, which you know what must have froze over.
Yeah, for sure. My goal is we're going to try to stay up front and lead the most laps we can and hope we don't get in somebody else's trouble or cause a mess. But that's the plan for us. But, may have to drop to the back. Just depends on how the race plays out with cautions or if there are going to be any.
Now, obviously, a little bit of a reach to get up to your teammate Dylan there for this championship, but does that make you, I guess, more cautious to go ahead and ride in the back there, or is this one of those, you know what, I need to try to be up there at the stage breaks to potentially get the max amount of points?
Yeah, that's the plan, just to try to get the max amount of points, and hopefully he's up here too, because either way, we want our team to win the block championship either way. Hopefully it works in our favor tonight.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, congratulations on the pole, and maybe we'll talk in Victory Lane tonight. It'd be a pretty good birthday present, I'd say.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, you too, buddy. That is Hal Likens, the pole sitter here tonight, celebrating a birthday. So congratulations and happy birthday to him on making it another year. And hopefully he'll have a good race here this evening as we send him down to his TNT team. And let's get his teammate Dylan Picklesheimer up here, who's obviously got the momentum here to win this championship here this evening. Dylan, obviously, tonight a pretty big night. I think the main obstacle is going to be those stage points. Trying to be able to maximize the stage points to try to widen that gap as much as possible tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna we got a 6th place starting spot, so I'm just gonna try to get with Sam and the old 37, Al Likens, and just try to get top 3 stage points and get James up there with us and just see how it goes. It's Al's birthday tonight, so I guess I'm gonna try to push him to a win if I can.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So the obvious question I have to ask from there is last week, obviously, the little bump in the road that we had to talk about there with what happened at the end of the race. Is there been any chat this week of like, all right, let's make sure that don't happen again type of thing?
Yeah. Sam's been messing with Al all week about it, and Al said he ain't going to come up again like he did, but we'll see when the time comes.
Hey,
you never know these days.
We're here to win, right?
Yeah, for sure. We are. Oh, we're wrecking.
Oh, don't do that.
There's a Barbie car. On my way. But yeah, I'm looking forward tonight. I love Talladega, and it's going to be racy. So hopefully we just kind of keep it up front and get a decent finish. I'm sure the only one I'm racing is probably Travis. So it's probably the worst 1-2 race because he's probably the best one in here. But we'll see how it goes,
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, best of luck here this evening, and I appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you.
Yes, sir. Dylan Picklesheimer, the points leader and potential champion here in a little bit. We'll have to see as he heads down to his TNT squad. And as I mentioned, it's been kind of a resurgence of that team here these last few weeks, especially in this block of the Gen 4 racing. So hope everybody's enjoying their Tuesday night. Appreciate you coming to join us. Obviously, going to be a fun 250 lap race here at this track that was built in 1969. A bunch of drivers decided to sit out the race because they thought the track was too scary. Bill France said, all right, don't worry, we'll fill the field up. So he went and got a bunch of drivers from the Saturday pre-race, or the Saturday race, and filled the field in, and they went racing, and Talladega was born officially. And not only that, but Richard Childress Racing was officially born in that race itself. So there you go, a little bit of history for you from Talladega here tonight as we go trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, here we go. Getting ready for the race here. Appreciate the national anthem. I noticed that the Trade Paints is kind of messing with me here a little bit, so we're going to do this kind of an old school way and do Trading Paints. Nothing wrong with that. All right, got a pretty good field of cars here as they're all going to blink here for a second as if they're trying to get their correct paints on the car here. We'll see if that works out. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here from Talladega as Al Likens once again on the pole. Greg Thompson, the 08, they're going to start on his outside. AJ Condon, Sam the Toolman Taylor. And row number 2, Jason Branch, Dylan Picklesheimer, points leader, going to start there on the outside in the 12th car. Josh McKinney, Stephen Melnick, row number 4. Travis Gilbert, winner at the Old Daytona last week, will start 5th alongside Derek Jacobs. Scott Wise, Ryan Wilson in row number 6. Row 7, James Hudson, Eddie Roarty, Shane Ward, Brian Hayes, Joe Wells, Tim Shiflett there in row number 9 out of the 18 drivers that'll race here this evening for 94 laps. Stage breaks 19 and 47. Where we hand the stage points out. Obviously, if Picklesheimer can find a way to max out and get 20 points here tonight, he could walk away the champion before this race is even over with. And obviously, plenty of racing to be done on this Tuesday evening. I think we got the paint schemes mostly loaded back up, so hopefully should be good to go here. Been doing everything I can to work with the stream here. So again, if you see a little bit of lag going on, I'm trying everything I can to keep it going strong here. So just bear with me, and I apologize for the obvious issues. As we come off turn number 4, pace truck pulls down pit road and into the hands of the 25 of Al Likens. Greg Thompson on the outside in the 08 car, who's not a fan of the car, loves the track. We'll see which one gives here this evening as we crown a champion for Gen 4 after tonight at Talladega Green Flag. And our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. The Twisted Sister 250 Presented by Bet the Track, of course, the sponsors, the main sponsors here. Of the Masters of the Draft is double file, 2 by 2. The cars have kind of fallen off a little bit as they try to get this pack all organized up. That 9 there behind of Sam Taylor trying to push the 08 to the front. The 5 of AJ Condon trying to give the 25 a push to the front. And right away the leaders get turned. I do not see a caution yet. That caution is out. Oh, what drama already. After a caution-free race at Daytona, a bad bump sends Thompson around. Shane Ward goes around. And he's got heavy damage on the 39 car. Oh, boy. Drama already. Let's see what happened. And it looked like just a bump draft from the 9. And he caught him in the left rear. And the one thing you cannot do is get somebody in the left rear in these cars, or any of the sides of the car. Look at that. I mean, way off here. And right there gets him in the left rear, sends him right down into Al. Who says Al? And a lot of other cars involved. Hayes goes through the grass. McKinney gets some damage. Some damage there on the 54 of Shiflet, it looks like also. About 5 or 6 cars immediately in this wreck. Looks like the 2 might have gotten into the car. I think it was McKinney that he might have gotten into or something. But a lot of cars coming to pit road early here to get gas. 2.5 mile track, going to get some damage fixed. A lot of these guys might go ahead and just get the damage fixed instead of doing a reset. Save that reset for later so that you don't burn through it right now and then have yourself in trouble come later on in this race. Caution out here for the first time. Yeah, appreciate the viewers hanging out here on this Tuesday evening. Forgive me, I'm working on a couple of things here really quickly as of course the good news here, the cautions are not long because they do quickie yellow, so it's literally 3 laps and we're right back to green here. So good news, Picklesheimer did get through. It looks like that accident unscathed. And Dylan actually is outside the front row with Sam Taylor. So cars are going to come through the trial over here and come to the green flag. And you look at everybody over there in that inside lane. As green comes out, that is because they all came to pit road and topped off the fuel there at 1 to go. Basically, that is kind of like a penalty. Basically. Well, here we go, Taylor. Stephen Melnick at purple and yellow Darkwing Duck Quack Machine. Scott Wise there behind him in the 31. Gonna get up there and give a... Uh-oh. Don't want to push the pusher in this car. It's never a good thing. He backs off Tim Shiflett there in the 54, and these cars get wound up after the whoopsies there on lap 1. Quick lesson real quickly. That this car sucks up really well in the draft. I can think of plenty of times racing at this track. I went from the back to the front real quick. As, oh, is that almost a block right there? Melnick didn't leave much room for the 12, and Picklesheimer took it. We're going 4 wide, and contact in the wall. This time the points leader is in it. And, oh, Talladega strikes again. The aggression is at 100 right now, it looks like. You boys might need to take a little chill pill. Caution out for the second time. Gilbert gets some damage. Branch into the wall. One car gets clobbered to 30, I think that is. The 2 with a little bit of a Tony Hawk rail slide. Not sure if he'll rack up points while he does that. I mean, Lycan's destroyed now in the front end. On board with Dylan here and see how this took place from his view, and that right there was scary enough. a good job of locking that car down. On board with Melnick. One last on board. Let's go on board with Derek Jacobs here. This one's gonna leave a mark a little bit. Car's right back on pit road to get damage fixed. Some of them likely getting a new car. And I'm assuming some conversation might be going on also out there. So a little bit of a rough start here. A couple of good races the last couple of weeks at the Monza left-handed oval, and then the race at the Old Daytona last week. And now all of a sudden we come to Talladega, and a little bit of a rocky start here on this 2.66 mile oval. And now see Scott Wise up front and other cars getting fixed up. So far, I'm only seeing one car has lost a lap, and that's James Hudson. Otherwise, we'll get one to go this time by again and get the green flag. So 2 cautions here real quick in the first 8 laps of this race. Definitely just throwing a little curveball at the group, but still got plenty of racing to go. Scott Wise leads at Tim Shiflett up there in that outside in the 54 car. Outside pole sitter Greg Thompson back up to the 3rd position. Ryan Wilson, who's been trying to break through and go to victory lane. And that 23 car, he's on the outside there. And how about the 47 car, that Old Spice machine, Cal Naughton Jr., if you will, a.k.a. Brian Hayes. And Joe Wells there at 6, Stephen Melnick, Eddie Rolani, AJ Condon, Derek Jacobs, your top 10. As we try to get this thing going again, lap number 9. Good news there. If we look at the positives, we did get a couple more green flag laps than we did the first time around. James Hudson did officially lose a lap, so he's the one not in the lead lap. Everybody else on track on the lead lap as we go back green. And Picklesheimer, is he going to try to Kyle Busch this thing? I think think back to that famous race at Daytona a few years ago where Busch did some move like this. Was it? I can't remember. Was that the 400 or was that the shootout when he did this? He got this move and just went flying around the field, and Picklesheimer's going to go all the way to the front. And unless there's something in the rule book about doing that move, it's legal because you need to pass on the outside after the start-finish line. The only thing you got to wonder, did he lane change technically? We'll have to see how that's looked at here later on. I do not believe Lauren's here to see that, but either way, Dylan's going to lose the lead back as here comes that tandem of the 08 and the 31. Oh, and around goes Hayes. And we stay green. I was a little worried not one car went by. We'd get the caution, but he stays green. And Al Likens on pit road in that 25 car. So it looks like, unless some miracle happens, his championship hopes in the Gen 4 car are gone. This is been a wild one here. Joe Wells joining his teammate Eddie Rorty up there at the front, pushing Picklesheimer for the front into the lead, leading that lap. Likens officially keeps pit road back on the track and a lap down now in the 18th position, so he's going to need some help of a caution to get back in this race. I need a couple cautions, unfortunately, as he and James Hudson officially the two cars one lap down in this race. Grant's going to split the middle of the 5 and the 30 as he works his way towards the front here. Trying to go another block of racing here with a victory. Of course, he got that one win last season in the 87 at iRacing Super Speedway, which will return to the schedule for the final block of racing coming up starting in 2 weeks at Daytona. For those who have not seen this before, it has been 5 different blocks of 4 races, all since, August of last year. From the next-gen car to the truck to the Xfinity car, 87s, and now here in the Gen 4 before we break out the Gen 6s in 2 weeks. Crown the master of the draft. Sam Taylor up there on his own there on the top side. Picklesheimer running that middle lane with Joe Wells and the 33 of Wildy behind him. Should say Scott Wise with the 08 of Greg Thompson behind him. Ryan Wilson, the 23, also a part of this bunch here on an inside lane. And these cars kind of mirror the old 2000, 2001 Gen 4 car, which if you remember had that wicker on the top of the track, or top of the car. And I know it looks kind of hard to see. See if I can get you a view of this. Well, hard to believe that something so small at the top of a car kind of see the little thing sticking out right above the windshield on the 08 car. That right there, that little piece of car creating all that drag and pushing the air over the car, which allows the car to draft up to the other cars, and that's what it leads to this big pack. Allows these big runs to happen and creates the racing that you've had here so far. Of course, the bumpers don't align really, so it's hard to push unless you have done a lot of practice. Scott Wise and Picklesheimer almost matching cars with the red, black, and gold, or yellow, or whatever color that's going to be. And here comes Travis Gilbert, the winner from the old Daytona last week. He's got help from the 5 of AJ Condon. As we're 3 laps away from the end of stage 1. Bonus points on the line here. And Roati goes up there to jump with his teammate Joe Wells, and they are going to leave the 12 out there on his own, but the 12's got some help. Here comes Taylor, his teammate at TNT, in the middle. And you're starting to see the teams go to work here a little bit as they come up on a lap car. You got the torqued wrench guys on the bottom. You've got TNT in the middle. You've got G Lightning on top. And some contact and wrecking. And this is going to end the stage. Picklesheimer once again in it. And these guys must have had some trouble again passing the lap car. We've seen this before. And the 3rd caution waves. One car destroyed. 2 car had the 9 car on top of them. It's going to start up here. And just everybody coming together there in the corner. How much a difference a week makes when it's all over with here. Let's take a look at the initial contact here. Everybody trying to give room to the lap car down below. You see McKinney jumping on the brakes right away. Sam Taylor is getting a tow from the 2 car up through the corner there. All right, so here we go. This is going to be interesting, and it looks like Scott Wise is staying out here. He'll get 1 to go next time by, and all he's got to do is get back to the start-finish line, and he'll be the winner of Stage 1, presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics, here momentarily. All right, so the pits are going to be closed for a lot of these guys who did not come to pit road. So If they didn't pit, then obviously they're putting themselves into a box here. If they did come to pit road, a chance to come refill. But the thing about it is, it's going to set up who's in the top 10 here when the stage comes to an end. And that's going to be right now, presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. Scott Wise behind the pace car or truck. We'll get stage 1. Joe Wells second, Greg Thompson, Ryan Wilson, Brian Hayes your top 5, Gilbert, Shiflett, Condon, Ward, and Branch getting bonus points. Gilbert getting 5 points. Dylan Picklesheimer 0 points. So you do the math. Let's put the bonus points in there. It's down to 31 now between those two drivers. Obviously, that's not counting the amount of positions gained and currently where they're running. It's just taking last week's points and then adding 5 to it now for the 22 of Gilbert. And appreciate everybody for hanging out on this Tuesday evening as we continue to work our way towards the championship crowning here tonight. And again, appreciate everybody working with us. Obviously, still having some streaming issues on my end as we continue to try to figure things out, and hopefully everything's looking as solid as possible on your side of things. But I appreciate everybody's patience with it. Get ready to come back to the green. Scott Wise, Joe Wells, Greg Thompson, Ryan Wilson, and Brian Hayes, who, oh, by the way, went spinning just a couple laps ago in the tri-oval, leading this race. Travis Gilbert there in the outside lane in 6th. As we come to the green flag, Wise with a real good restart. As they get up to speed, Al Lyken's got the lucky dog. And now sits 15th, back on the lead lap, but probably going to sit in the back now because he's not got another car to use the rest of this race, likely. Thomas Lance, appreciate you joining us, cheering Joe on. Joe Wells up there at top side trying to get that out line rolled up. Got a few of his teammates in there. Shane Ward got a brand new car. A lot of these guys got brand new cars already in this race, and we're not even a quarter distance in. These first 3 cautions might have settled the field down a little bit here. Like the old heyday where RCR cars, the 3 and the 31 up there leading this pack. Tonight, though, 2 different paint scheme, or 2 different teams, I should say. As Wise led that lap barely, it looked like. They said we're already on pit road getting some damage fixed. Stephen Melnick did take his 1 car behind the wall. And he will be out of the race, unfortunately, finishing dead last in this one. Dylan Picklesheimer losing the draft here. Trying to get some help from James Hudson to stay up there. Obviously some damage on that 12 car, and that's what he does not need right now, is to lose this draft and this race stay green. as here comes Gilbert to the top side. This track definitely is the wild card each and every season, it seems like, here in this National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing, the Masters of the Draft, presented by Vet to Track in the Twisted Sister 250 here tonight. Up here tonight, we'll also crown the winner of the biggest mover of the race. Hard Charger, presented by Superior Templating. As here we go again. Eddie Rardy in that 33 car, lap traffic. Let's see how they handle getting around him. First two rows are good. Looks like they're going to handle the 33 car pretty well, so it's going to work out pretty well. So 47 laps tonight, the second stage, so 21 laps to go still. The 2 car back there has helped Picklesheimer stay within 2 seconds of the lead, but eventually that 2 car is going to overheat, so got to figure out a way to try to maintain. Al Likens is back there also, trying to pull him along. Oh, more contact. Hayes into Condon. They scatter around. Everything's good, it looks like. That hurt the 5 car and the 47. It looked like some contact. Push Condon down into Hayes, and now here comes the Barbie car of Jason Branch. The 5 of Condon, the 24 of Josh McKinney. Yeah, I'm tempted to see who's the... I'm guessing Wise might be the only one who's not been involved in a wreck here so far. As Gilbert helping his teammate Joe Wells trying to get G Lightning out to the lead for the first time here this evening. Wise has got Thompson pushing there in that inside lane, so tandems come into play here a little bit, which again we talked about a little bit ago how tough it was to push this car. I didn't say it was impossible, but it's about. Track, as I mentioned a little bit ago, in 1969 was built. If you haven't had a chance to hear the story, I know Mike Joy usually tells it pretty well every time they race here during the springtime, but you might wonder why the seats here at this track are the start-finish lines over towards turn 1. Well, the story behind it is that Bill France wanted to build the biggest super speedway of them all. He built this track, but he said, you know what? I want to sell tickets down towards turn 1. It's the easiest way to sell tickets, so you put the start-finish line down there. And that's basically what it is. Start-finish line's down towards turn 1. So you get that little extra room coming out of turn 4 to pretty much draft and make whatever moves you need to through the tri-oval into the start-finish line. And we've seen plenty of races come down to that last lap pass, and all the way from contact back there, the 24 for the half spin and into the wall. He was able to save it. I know is one driver that got passed for the win in that race. I always tell the story, and yet I've just forgotten the driver who won his one and only Cup Series race. It was not Richard Brickhouse, because I remember he won the first race in '69. Now I gotta look it up. But he made a 3-wide move inside lane as Darrell Waltrip and another driver are battling coming to the start-finish line. Not that one, but you got the Harvick and Boyer finish. Side by side coming to the line. The tandems all pushing each other. A couple cars getting the wall there off of 2. Back in 2011 with Johnson winning that race. From that turn 4 area to start the finish line to win this race. But first, you got to get there with all the issues that have happened. Ron Bouchard, that was the driver's name. I have to remember that one. Bouchard, driver from 1981 that won that Talladega race. Lincoln's getting separated up there in that top side. I mean, you got to be careful there, especially if you're somebody who's already used up your reset and don't have any cars left. You put yourself in trouble now, your night's over with. Derek Jacobs and Stephen Melnick, who are both behind the wall now, out of this race. James Hudson 1 lap down, everybody else in the lead lap and in this lead pack. Thompson doing a great job keeping Scott Wise in the front. The G Lightning team right there above them, trying to push each other right up there into the lead draft. As we get closer to the 100-mile mark in this 250-mile race, the Twisted Sister 250 presented by Bet the Track. But all of a sudden, clean and green as Taylor gets that push outside with Likens. And caution going to come out as Gilbert has spun to the inside wall. The 22 is damaged. Eddie Rardy involved, and Gilbert's got a toe. That's going to be big. see what happens. Oh, somebody Gilbert blew a motor right in front of the field. You saw that puff of smoke right before the checkup, and boom goes the dynamite, and Gilbert ends up spun out. Watch him closely. Behind that 3 car, you're going to see a big plume of smoke right about there. That's when the motor blows up and he loses all types of pace, and Branch got nowhere to go. Rawadi gets clipped. We can get you a non on board of the engine expiring. Right there, boom. Khan didn't know where to go. And this is going to bring the leaders to pit road. Wouldn't be surprised to see some fuel-only stops, and that's exactly what we got. As Taylor wins the race off pit road, Lyken's going to be second, Wise third, Shiflett fourth. We're going to take an opportunity here for a quick second. I am going to keep the stream up, obviously, but step away here just to get some water, because I'm going to need it here, I think. Give me a second here, and I'm going to send my go-getter guy to the cooler, but then I realized, oh, wait, I'm the go-getting guy. So we'll be right back. All right. Water ready to go. $38 laps going to be in the books next time by, which will get us to 100 miles officially in this race. Appreciate all the viewers hanging out on this, again, Tuesday evening, as we start to warm up here a little bit finally. The weather's been okay where you are. I know we got a little bit of a line of storms starting to line up as we get into spring, meteorologically into spring, I should say. Not quite there yet, season-wise, technically. Of course, 2025, Lauren and Scott continue with the Masters of the Draft Series and do another season. You should be getting ready for the new Gen 4 cars, or the actual Gen 4 cars, I guess they would be, to be released with different bodies and stuff like that. So that should be interesting when that gets here, potentially, at least as we know of next year. But right now, we got these old school ARCA / Gen 4 cars as we go green. Sam Taylor. And look who's on that outside lane. Al Likens, who's been destroyed twice already. On the outside of row 1, Scott Wise, Tim Shefflett, and Ryan Wilson, your top 5. One car blinking towards the back as Travis Gilbert has rejoined the race, but Travis is some 2 laps down now after towing. And he's going to need a lot of help to get up there, or otherwise right now, I'm Dylan Picklesheimer. I'm sitting in the back and just riding the rest of this race. I mean, you can try to win it, I guess, later on, but get to the finish of this race and be the champion. Stephen Melnick has rejoined the race, some 15 laps down. Derek Jacobs still off the track. So 17 of the 18 drivers that started this race in this Twisted Sister 250. And Gilbert working to go get up there in his pack, but some blinking issues too as he's trying to work on that. Might need a tinfoil hat when it's over with. A lot of these wrecks have actually happened up toward the front. I don't know where I'd rather be. I mean, I've always been one that wants to be in the back, in all honesty. I think tonight might be the safest spot for that place to be, is right back there where you see that 2-car hanging out with, I believe that's Picklesheimer. It's back there behind him. It sure is. And that 12 car, I'd rather be right on back there. Let everybody wreck and just hang. Of course, I say that now, and watch we go 52 laps back to the finish. As Gilbert's going to fall back, so I wonder if something was said to him about his internet connection. I know there were some new protocols put into play recently about the internet reception for the drivers, and not only that, you got that update that's in play now too. I don't know how that works on the hosted side, but supposedly when you have a bad connection with the whole iRacing parking you thing or whatever it is, I don't have too much detail on it, but seems interesting. Seems a few years too late, but better late than never, I guess. Here we go, 3 wide, outside lane. Comes A.J. Condon for the first time, looking for the lead with Shane Ward pushing in the 39 car. To quote Harry Ganton, stroker ace. Oh, hell, here we go again. that lap. 43 in the books. 4 laps to go before the end of stage 2. This guy's getting very aggressive. "31 is Scott Wise now with the 25 pushing. Val Likens behind them. Thompson trying to push. And Likens gets that run, going to put himself to the bottom there, 3 wide, kind of by himself. Needs a little help from his teammate Taylor there. At first, it didn't look like he had too good of a run, but he made it work. He gets in it inside and Scott. That 08 pushes that 31 out there, 2 laps to go. Way through 3 and 4, you see the 24 McKinney with Joe Wells back there pushing him, trying to get a run going. See Brian Hayes back there, that Old Spice 47 car. And here we go, final lap of the stage, and oh, contact Likens and Thompson. Some more contact. Some more contact. We're still hitting each other back here. Likens goes to the apron to try to avoid any more catastrophe there. As Joe Wells, with help from AJ Condon, goes to the front. Through the tri-oval. Man, get the man a broomstick tonight. Scott Wise wins stage 2. Presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. Scott Wise sweeping the stages at Talladega. Going to get his second win of the season. These guys can take a breath, you would think. I know you still got a whole half of the race to go. You still got at least 1 pit stop, probably 2 to get to the finish. Basic goal now for that 12 car, with Gilbert not getting any bonus points. He should just hang there. He can try to win this race in the final lap, but otherwise just he really could just sit there in the back and just ride all the way to the finish line if he really wanted to. But knowing Dylan and myself, I would probably go ahead and hang back there on the final lap. See where I can get. See where I finish. 'Cause at that point, you pretty much know the worst you're going to finish if you get to the final lap is 13th, as there's 13 cars in the lead lap. As Stephen Melnick comes to pit road in the 1 car. and next week we are off. The switch to the next gen car, or the Gen 6 car, that'll make its return for the last 4 weeks. And we'll come back on March 18th, I should say, from Daytona to kick off the last of the 6 blocks of racing for 4 weeks. Shane Warden at 39, having a good run now. Eddie Rorty in that 33 car. He is still a lap down at 14th. As he tries to get that lucky dog. The key to getting the lucky dog here at this track is you gotta stay out of trouble. Mason Branch has worked his way back into this pack. I mean, pretty much every car, but I know of at least one, Scott Wise being that one that has not been involved in an accident this evening. He might be the only one. So 42 laps to go in this Twisted Sister 250 Talladega Super Speedway in the Bet to Track Masters of the Draft, the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing. Scott Wise, Greg Thompson, Joe Wells up front here. Come over to the lap car. This time that lap car is going to go to the top side here. Everybody should be able to roll the bottom on Melnick. So the question going to be, when do we come to pit road in this race? See if we can kind of guesstimate some numbers here really quickly. Pull up the old pit board here for a second straight week. Everybody came to pit road at the last caution, which was around lap 35. 19 laps into this run now, so I would say probably lap 75. 19 laps to go, or do you split the run in half, maybe come a little earlier? Gilbert, unfortunately, still having some linking issues back there. Scott Wise, Greg Thompson, these guys were the first two racers in the room tonight. Peeked in here I was working on graphics and stuff like that for tonight and noticed the 08 pushing the 31 around Talladega. Just those two in the room. They were going to take it serious tonight, and here they are. An inside lane. Scott's won both stages. Wells, 3 wins this season. Looking to get up there and join his teammate Gilbert in the most wins category. Looking to also extend that overall points lead, which we still get to crown a champion here in 4 weeks after tonight. Of course, it's been he and Gilbert up there leading those points the whole entire time. Tonight we get ourselves a surprise winner. How about that 47 car outside lane? Ryan Hayes. By Eddie Roddy in that 33 car. Could he end up in victory lane tonight? There you see the 12 of Picklesheimer starting to join this pack. Jay Condon there behind him. Across the start finish line, coming up to lap 60. Never too early to start planning out for the last lap of the race. Get to the last lap on lap 60. So yes, you want to get yourself to where you want to be if it's in the lead or the second or third or fourth place car. You have to get through the calamity to get to that point in this race. Of course, we've had plenty of cautions early, but now it's starting to clear up here as we've gone about 35 laps or so on a green flag run. I said earlier about lap 75 or so for pit stops. Let me go ahead and correct myself. I would say the next 5 or 6, 7 laps you're going to see cars on pit road here to get fuel. Scott Wise continues to paint that bottom lane. Appreciate everybody joining the Captain Esports Network on this Tuesday night. Hopefully you've had a good start to your week. First full week of March. Or spring starting to kick in a lot of areas. That includes the rain that we're getting here tonight. Fort Wayne area of Indiana and potential snow chances tonight, but I don't have to worry about freezing every part of my body off like I've done plenty of times, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here this year. You know, that's part of the weather up here, right? Up here a little bit, and I think that could be the sign that pit stops are coming. And this should be the final stop of the race. 62 now, be 32 laps to go. These guys don't quite run 22-gallon fuel cells. They did take a little fuel out in the setups. Everybody on the lead lap right now is in the lead pack. Cars that are a lap down in the pack and we're already in the 13th position, first car lap down. James Hudson, who just about put himself on the wall. And there's Travis Gilbert, who's 15th right now. Sam Taylor, who's actually leaving pit road. Sam is now officially 7 laps down in the 9 car. Steven Melnick, who's a part of this lead pack, and then unfortunately Derek Jacobs still behind the wall. Good news for Travis Gilbert. I do not see him blink. Yep, right on cue. I say that and he blinks in the back straightaway there. How about Jason Branch in the Barbie car? Fifth car inside the line there, that pink number 28. Let's start to kind of get ready for pit stops here by talking about what you got to do to set yourself up here a little bit. You got to remember, you've been at speed this whole entire time, and you've got some tires that are pretty hot now, and you're going to try to stop this car on those tires. So you got to know your marks and know how to get that car slowed down. Not to mention, you got to remember, as you get to pit road, there are no spotters in your car during that time period unless you actually have an actual human spotter. Nobody's telling you car low, car high, and any of that good stuff. So, want to know where you are on track, know your position, know where you started. If you started towards the back and you're running up there in the front, obviously you're going to be the first one to your stall, but you're going to be leaving as others are pulling in. And that could be interesting if you're not in the area that you become invisible. You always see mistakes. It seems like every green flag pit stop on a super speedway because of either a lack of remembering where you are on pit road or just flat not caring, I guess, for a lack of a better way of putting it. No cars have really lost the draft at all. That's why you haven't seen the camera really move off the pack at all. Throughout this race, everybody's kind of hanging out right here in it. 17 and 18 cars. You don't have some teams maybe working out a short pit format. As I've always learned, if you're able to draft at a pretty good sized pack, be the first one to pit last, you can likely undercut and jump to the front and have your teammates with you. But your other cars that warning that they need a caution to come out, or else, or if a caution comes out, it'll trap them going to the back of the field to restart because everybody else had already pitted. Those who just joined us, a little bit of a wild start. Had a few cautions to begin the race. Everything here in the last 30 laps, 35, 40 laps almost, have been clean and green. Wells leading another lap. Of course, Scott Wise has led the most laps here tonight. He and Greg Thompson have worked well together, but in the last 10 laps or so, Wells moved himself down to the bottom line and has kind of sat there in front of Scott Wise and done a great job. Of course, Wells won the first two of the blocks of racing back in August and September. Then he finished third in the 87, or I'm sorry, the see, I gotta remember which cars we were now. Next gen car. Up, here we go. Pit stops. Locking them up. Everybody trying to get down to the. Oh, and around goes Scott off a branch. Cannot make mistakes. Probably a little chatting going on over in the channel there for the Torque Wrench guys. Everybody looks like, for the most part, fuel only, as here comes the G Lightning guys on the pit road. Looks like the TNT guys also in the pits here. 39 overshooting his pit stall a little bit. That's going to affect them. As everybody rolls out, I do not see a speeding penalty for anybody. So great news there. Now the question is, can everybody get back together here? Thompson going to be all by himself here, and that's going to allow Al Likens and these guys to get teamed up. There's Josh McKinney, and then there's Thompson, who's got the blinking Travis Gilbert. There's Picklesheimer with help from the two car. They're going to pick up AJ Condon here as these guys try to get single filed up and pushing. This pack is going to slowly come back together, and you're likely going to have about 6 cars now in this lead pack, and then here's another pack of cars about 8 seconds back from the leader, with Ryan Wilson and Brian Hayes, Melnick, and Shane Ward. And then Scott Wise, who unfortunately, well, At least Jason Branch is returning the favor, trying to help the man back to the front of the field here. The contact obviously hurting those guys a little bit. As 21 laps to go. There's your front two, and then 2.3 seconds back to a train that is now formed up here. And those 6 cars are going to catch the other 2 really quickly. Speeds over 200 miles an hour in the draft. And I talked about the strategy that Dylan Picklesheimer could do, but Dylan, as you see, he's getting up there and he wants to get racy here in a little bit. Obviously, this field just wants to stay single file, get as close as you can to the bubble of the 08 car so that 12 can maximize the push. Yeah, I say they're catching them quickly, but you know what? They didn't gain too much time here on that lap. So Wells obviously doing a good job pushing as they cross the start finish line. Let's see lap times here. Likens and Wells 49.22, and in fact they were faster than Thompson that lap by 4/100ths. I take back what I said about that's faster. After the race, we'll talk to our champion, also talk to the drivers from the top 3, and crown the Hard Charging Award presented by Superior Templating. And then we'll get you ready for the final block of racing in the Gen 4 cars. Matter of fact, while we're under green and these guys out there racing hard, let's take a quick little sneak peek. If you have not seen the schedule and what it looks like here. Look down to that final block of 4 races. It starts off at Daytona for 250 miles on the 18th. And we'll come back 25th and run at the iRacing Super Speedway for 84 laps. Then it's Atlanta for 250 miles on April Fool's Day, and then finish it all out, a 500-mile race at Talladega on the 8th of April. Going to be potentially the biggest wild card of all. And of course, that Talladega night we will crown the overall champion and also the block champion that night. 17 laps to go. AJ Condon is now moved up to the front along with the 24. A little bit of shuffling going on here, which is not really helping the lead pack, or not helping the second pack as they try to catch the lead pack. Surprisingly, 2 cars have outrun 6. I think that's 7 cars. I say 2, but now I look up here at the front and, well, there's a 3rd car that has joined. Sam Taylor. Well, they've gotten a real good run here now going. Condon within 1.6 seconds, down to 1.3 seconds. They're pretty much in the draft now, so you're going to see the speeds really pick up. not be surprised you see the fastest lap of the race come out here in the next lap or two for one of these cars up front that are pulling in these leaders. Ooh, almost some contact there. That would not have been good. AJ Condon leading that lap. 14 laps to go. Wrong about the purple lap. I thought somebody would get it there, but nope. Not fast enough. Greg Thompson, 211 miles an hour. Dylan Picklesheimer, 211 miles an hour. I think that's pretty accurate. Look at Josh McKinney now getting a run topside. As he gets himself a lap ledge. Check back here on this new second pack, if you will. Shane Ward, Ryan Wilson trying to get up there. With Brian Hayes and the one is Stephen Melnick. These guys are 8.8 seconds back, so they're going to need probably a yellow that gets us now lead back in 9 cars. Outside of that, you got the 2-pack of Wise and Branch, and then Eddie Rardy and James Hudson are up in this pack along with Travis Gilbert. So outside those 4 cars, this is your pack. Pushing that 5 car, trying to get himself his second win of the season. And he's got his teammate Sam Taylor, who is 8 laps down. Probably not going to leave the bumper of that 24 or 25 car, I should say, unless he has to go and help his teammate in the 12. Again, one more thank you for everybody hanging out here tonight on this Tuesday evening. And hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. And those who might be having some lag issues and stuff from the stream, I do apologize for that. I'm actually watching on my cell phone a little bit here on my over in front of me, just kind of seeing how it looks and stuff with the frame issues and stuff. McKinney almost thought it was going to be close, but he was able to clear that 5 car and 24 to the front now. Scott Wise winning both stages, but they're in that last pit stop cycle, some contact with Jason Branch. Let's push those guys 29 seconds back now. As the teammates go to work. Gilbert pushing Joe Wells to the front. They need to find a way to switch up here if they can. And get Gilbert out there in front of this pack. And he would be back to 1 lap down. Unfortunately, he's got 2 other cars right behind him that are further ahead 1 lap down. He would not be able to get the lucky dog at that moment, but he could double dip and take the wave around and come back around and be on the lead lap of this race. So I think that have to happen here in these next 10 laps. We do have overtime if needed tonight. 2 attempts at that. Dylan Picklesheimer, unless something dramatic happens, is on his way to a championship here in the 5th block of racing. Joe Wells won the first 2, and then it was the 22 of Travis Gilbert winning the 3rd block. Josh McKinney winning that 4th block. So it's been all G Lightning winning the championship. So tonight, likely the first non-G Lightning championship in these blocks. But 4 races left, and that overall championship looks to be a 2-man show going for it. They're going to bring it off turn 4 and come towards 7 laps to go in this race. Everybody good to go on fuel. Cars have been, ever since I got on iRacing, one of the funnest cars to race in a draft. One of the more stressful ones too because of the pushing. But the runs you're able to get makes it so much fun to watch, and these next 6 laps are going to get wild as Greg Thompson stuck in the middle as he's going backwards. So we think. He's actually kind of stayed right there in the 3rd row, kind of get some side draft off both those cars. That was actually one of the benefits of this car when it was out in the early 2000s, was it seemed like the guy in the middle actually found a run, as long as he didn't get himself in trouble. And look at Thompson, worked his way up to the inside of Hal Likens now, all by himself without help. And he's going to draft his way up there. How about that? Thought he was in trouble, but he stays right up there, second in line. Or first in line, I should say, in the outside lane. 5 laps to go. Joe Wells can get another win tonight. Be pretty big for his season here so far. Peek here really quickly. Joe with 3 wins could get his 4th here tonight. Of course, the only person with more than 3 wins on the season is Travis Gilbert with the 5 after last week at the 08 Daytona track. Winners in 20 races this season. And the only other winner outside of Joe and Travis to win 3 races or more. You have to go to Dylan Picklesheimer, who's got 2 wins. Everybody else 1 win on the season. So it has been a pretty good spread of winners. Of course, Joe and Travis, the reason why they're up there at the top of the overall points is all their wins that they've had, especially early in the season. As Gilbert getting up there pushing Joe Wells, second car inside lane. that outside lane going here. Is everybody going to really start to push now? Can they get it back to the white flag here in 2 laps? And what has turned into a really good race after what was a pretty cautious start, if you will, no pun intended. Had a few yellows there early, but here we've gone the last 60 laps. And how about Gilbert's going to get out of the way? Classy move on his part. Going to let the leaders fight it out. Dylan Picklesheimer, 6th position. He has actually fallen out of the draft here. That's Dylan way back there. 2 seconds back. He knows he's pretty much got this thing locked up. And we got 2 lap cars pushing each other on the outside lane here. That could play an interesting role in this. As they come racing back, they got 2 cars up ahead. That's Branch and Wise. As they're going to come to the white flag, they can get to the start-finish line. Here we go, final lap. And the 2 lap cars have gone to the top side here, and I think they're going to fall back. I think. The key word here, or 2 words, technically. Al Lyken's going to get the draft now off of Wise and Branch, and McKinney's out of gas, I think. Either that or he's blowing a motor as he comes to the line. Likens. Thompson tries to cross him over, contacting the Branch, and there goes Thompson around as Al Likens uses the lap traffic to score to win at Talladega. Happy birthday, Mr. Al. And Dylan Picklesheimer, unofficially the champion of the Gen 4 block in the Vet to Track Masters of the Draft, and becoming the first non-winner from G Lightning. As Lycan locks it down, gonna do some celebrating here. Joe Wells going to finish second, and unofficially will be the... Matter of fact, we can go ahead and do this, as Joe is actually towed back to pit road, but Joe Wells going to be the Hard Charger Award, presented by Superior Templating, as Joe gained 15 spots from 17th to 2nd in the 3-car here tonight. Just falling up a little bit short. A big shout out to Superior Templating. As Dylan Picklesheimer going to bring her out of turn 4. As Al's going to celebrate his win, and Dylan going to celebrate a championship in a really dominant block of racing for the TNT Racing team. Should I say they blew up the block? I'm curious to see what chat's going to look like here tonight. The way that race came down to it with the lap cars and stuff, and some of the cautions earlier in the race. I think it's going to be an interesting chat here these next 2 weeks while we're off before we come back for the Gen 6 car at Daytona. Oh boy. Oh, now we're getting PG-13 here. Everybody get a room. As those guys go rolling away and do Polish victory laps. Take a look at the final results here. From Talladega, Hal Likens wins it by 6/100ths of a second on Joe Wells. AJ Condon third. Greg Thompson ends up fourth sideways. And Josh McKinney, I believe, ran out of gas at the end there or something, finishes fifth. Dylan Picklesheimer sixth. Shane Ward seventh. Ryan Wilson, Brian Hayes ends up 9th, and Scott Wise 10th. Jason Branch 11th. Eddie Rorty 12th. James Hudson 13th. Travis Gilbert 14th. And Sam Taylor ends up in the 15th position. Stephen Melnick 16th. Tim Shiplet 17th. Derek Jacobs 18th in the final finisher here in tonight's race. We'll get the unofficial point standings potentially here tonight. We'll see. Not 99.9% sure Dylan won this championship tonight. Let's talk to get the top three finishers and talk to our champion. Let's start with AJ Condon in the 5 car, who had a great run here tonight, finishing in the 3rd position. AJ, obviously a pretty tough race here tonight with the cautions early, but a great job cleaning it all up here tonight, and a great 3rd place finish for you.
Thanks, Chris. That was a lot of fun tonight. Teammates stick together on that one, and holy cow, that last lap was something else.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it looks like a photo finish, but there was lap cars in between.
Right.
It was kind of crazy there, but yeah, you put yourself in position the best you could. I know you were trying to help out the team and stuff and all that, but it still worked out for you in a great finish.
Yeah, thanks, man. Couldn't do it without GLM. Joe and Shane and Travis and all them. Worked well with Eddie tonight too. Eddie gave me some good pushing tonight, so thanks for that.
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I'm just trying to think. Key City Hobby, my main sponsor, helps race with you guys.
Well, obviously, talk about the pack racing, because you had the cautions there early, and once you guys cleaned it up, I mean, you guys were able to stay 2 and 3 wide most of the race there, and
we pushed it hard. We pushed it hard until that second stage, and then everybody kind of fell in line and went green flag there for 40 laps or something. So that we had to do a strategic pit stop and got us all back together. It was good. It was a lot of fun. I love racing with these guys.
Well, great job tonight. Send some shout-outs to whoever you like to.
Say that again?
I said send some shout-outs to whoever you like to.
Oh, thanks. It's Key City Hobby mainly. GLM, Vetatrack, and all my teammates at GLM, Joe, Josh, Dane, Eddie, Travis, the whole lot.
All right, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish, and we shall see you in 2 weeks.
Finally got back to the podium. Been 4th place a couple times.
Progress, right?
That's what happens with being a team player sometimes, though, and that's okay.
Attaboy. Well, hey, I'm sure they appreciate what you do, and I appreciate your time as always, and we'll talk here in 2 weeks.
All right, thanks, Chris.
You too. That is AJ Condon, the 3rd place finisher tonight. And a big shout out to Key City Hobby. Of course, they were the sponsor of the Xfinity block of racing here a few weeks ago when we were racing out there on track. Let's get our 2nd place finisher. There's only one thing left to queue.
Hello there.
Hello there, second place finisher.
What's up? What's up?
Obviously, a very good run there for you, finishing second, getting the Superior Templating Hard Charger Award. But the last time you had a Talladega finish where you had a photo finish at the line, but two of the cars were a lap down around you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was wild there at the end. I knew once Travis got back behind a couple laps at the end there, he was doing everything he could to help many of us here in JLM. So first, I just want to say thank you to Travis for even getting me in that position there at the end. But yeah, once it became clear that this was going to go green all the way, I was riding around with Al for a while after that last pit stop because I don't think Al and I took tires. And then I knew Sam was coming up, and I knew they were going to work together. And they did a great job working together and boxing me out in a respectful manner, which I appreciate. Yeah, and then just kind of all got pushed back together every which way, and had a lot of GLM on the bottom lane there. But Travis was getting so hot there at the end to kind of, I mean, there's nothing we could have done there. He was pushing his heart out, so tried to get McKinney to slide up there, and I think McKinney ended up burning out of fuel there at the end. So probably the most hectic, clean race that we've had so far this season.
Was there any kind of chat as I think about this now? You had you and Al up there, and then obviously you had the 9 car join you guys there at the last few minutes. And then you had AJ leading that second pack that was about 3 or 4 seconds back. Was there ever any chat to try to keep the pack separated as much as possible, talking with AJ since you guys were teammates?
I mean, yes and no. So obviously, I think Al and I were faster in a line. I mean, just the two of us rather than the 7 of everybody all bunched back up there. And I was keeping my eye on the relative and watching it go from like 2-1 to 2-9, and that's exactly what I wanted. And then again, saw Sam pop up on the relative, knew that they would work together. And then once we passed Sam, I think it was just enough to get the air flowing of that second pack. And I wouldn't ask them to keep that pack separated. They're trying to run their race too, and get a good finish and go for a win. So I mean, the thought was there if it played out that way, but obviously had to kind of let it go out naturally. And I wanted to jump up top there in that lane come, but that would have killed everybody, and I didn't want to do that. So yeah, and then it's kind of all fell apart there at the end with Josh running out of fuel. I know the 08, I think it was Greg, was trying to make a move there, and Al, and then he ended up hitting Travis. And then at that point, I have nowhere to go. I'm just going forward to the start finish line. But I do apologize, Greg, if you're listening, man. Just had nothing to do. So, but yeah, overall, just a great race, and was really happy to end this block with a positive race.
Well, yeah, it's good to see you guys up there, and I know I can feel that itch is going to be there come 2 weeks from now with trying to get those couple wins. You guys got 1 win out of the 4 last week, and I mean, say what you want, a little bit of team play failure kind of helped the win happen, but I mean, that close to having almost a winless block for the team, probably a little, I would say there's a little bit of, I wouldn't call it urgency, but there's that temptation, like that I'm losing the word in my head here, being tired, but that push to go get more wins next block.
Absolutely, yeah, it's really good motivation. I think a lot of us are surprised that I mean, just overall, Gen 4 block wasn't fantastic for GLM as a whole, right? And then, I mean, obviously Travis had some bad luck here today too, and he's a fantastic driver, and he's up there all the time with us. So I think heading into this final block, we all kind of have a flame lit under our ass. We've definitely picked up, I think, over the course of probably mainly the last 4, 5, 6 races, people figuring out ways to work against the G Lightning guys, which I can appreciate, obviously. So we definitely have a lot of motivation heading into these final 4 races, and really want to bring home some hardware to G Lightning Motors.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, just saw Greg message over in chat here saying not mad at you at all. So
Craig, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that.
So send some shouts wherever you like to.
Yeah, thank you to all the G Lightning Motors guys. Travis there at the end, I mean, God bless your heart for the hard work you put in there, laps down and getting me in that position. And I mean, Shane, I know you had kind of a tough one, but Shane, great race. Josh, great race. AJ, fantastic race as well. Eddie, great race, of course. Really hope I'm not forgetting the GLM guy, but all the GLM guys back home. I know my buddy Tom's watching back up there in Wisconsin. Appreciate you watching and tuning in for every race, man. Really does mean a lot to me. Everyone, go check out Vivid EV. If you, your family, your friends, if you guys want a golf cart, just check out Vivid EV. You can find your closest dealer on a dealer locator on our website. And specifically, if you're in the Delaware area, I want you to go check out Setman Custom Carts. He's a great guy and sells the best carts, best Vivid carts around. So big shout out to everybody else watching. I think my buddy DJ, my buddy John might be watching. Chris, as always, it's always a pleasure to be able to speak with you after these races. I'm gonna miss you at the end of the season, and yeah, and thank you to Scott and Lauren for putting this league on. I appreciate everybody that's a part of this. Last 4 weeks of in terms of cleanliness, not maybe success for GLM, but cleanliness has gone a long way, and it's been really nice to see. So hopefully that carries over to this next block.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Well, hey, great job tonight, Thomas. Congratulations on the top 3 finish. And oh, by the way, you're still the overall points leader in the season. Still got that to get. So
Yes,
4 more
sir,
races.
yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Great job.
4 more races.
4
Well,
more.
I appreciate you. Raise hell, praise Dale, and have a great night, guys.
And more importantly, safe travels to Phoenix.
Oh yes. I guess while you have me here, I will be working on Brayton Laster's pit crew for the ARCA race coming up here this weekend in Phoenix. If you guys want to tune in and watch that, watch the Purple 06. That's my dog. I'm either going to be working over the wall or he's going to have me up in the spotters booth for the race. So excited to see what happens and excited to come back and talk to you about it, Chris.
There you go. That should be a lot of fun. Great job on that, and we'll be watching that race and stuff. So congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
You
guys.
too.
Appreciate it.
Joe Wells, crew member for Brayton Laster this weekend at Phoenix, and also the second place finisher here tonight at Talladega. All right, let's get our winner up here before we talk to our champion of the regular season. The birthday man goes to victory lane here tonight. Al, obviously, the first 5 laps, I was like, he's going to wish he never races on his birthday again. But man, you made things work out there, sitting in the back a little bit, letting this race come to you, and found yourself in the right position to snag your second win of the year.
Yeah, it was a bumpy start to the race.
Slightly.
Yeah, a little bit. The second place come across my nose, and then I went and I tried to make it 3 or 4 wide to get back to the front, and me and the one collided. But I probably was going too soon, too early. But you learn from your mistakes.
Hey, no one's perfect. We all make our mistakes out there, like you said. But what a comeback it was. How tough was it to be patient after those 2 wrecks, knowing that you pretty much had to go use that reset and take care of yourself to get to the finish?
Yeah, it definitely took patience just riding along, then trying to figure out when to pit. I pitted with Joe and his crew, and had a really good pit stop. Me and Joe did. We came out way ahead. That definitely helped there until the last stint of the race.
We'll talk about how big it is and how cool it is to. I mean, I know it's a sim. Technically, it's not like a real life type of thing, but to still be able to go and win a race, celebrating a birthday and that kind of thing, it's got to be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to dirt track race in real life, but I had kids and that life got in the way. But this is the closest thing I can get back to that, so I really enjoy it.
Well, congratulations, man. Send some shouts whoever you like to.
I'd like to thank my teammates, Dylan and James and Sam and Daryl, but he's not here. And I'd like to thank you all do a great job, and I thank the league for allowing us a place to race.
Well, great job, man. And congratulations on the win. Happy birthday again. Go enjoy the last hour and a half of it, depending on what coast you're in.
Yeah.
And what's that?
I'd like to give the shout out to Vet to Track too for being a sponsor. Yeah, I forget that, and they're a big part of this. We really appreciate them and all the vets in their country.
Very well said. And I should mention you are in Bet to Track Victory Lane in the Twisted Sister 250 winner tonight. So Bet to Track sponsoring our race here tonight. So there you go. Double whammy for you. Great job.
Thank you.
You too. Al Likens, birthday guy, finishing in Victory Lane here tonight. And of course, that interview presented by Bet to Track. Not only the sponsor of the race tonight, but the sponsor of the league. And as they help out veterans get back on the racetrack, a la motorcycles on a specialized track, and doing so many things to help out those veterans fight PTSD and so much more. So big shout out to those guys for what they've done for this series. As the series has a lot of veterans that not only fighting for this country as we speak, but also have fought for this country before. So we appreciate everybody who spends their time, who have paid that, who have made the sacrifice, and we always think about those who have paid the sacrifice to fight for this country. So, all right, let's get our champion up here as he becomes the first champion, not a part of G Lightning, to win here. He puts TNT in the victory lane for the championship here this season. Unofficially, we're going to say, because yes, we have not seen the points technically, but unless some weird math happens, which we've seen it before, Dylan Picklesheimer, the champion here of the 5th season block, the Gen 4s. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I think Scott posted it at 9:34, and I beat him by 25 points, I think.
There you go, man. So, well, we're all done. As Scott's on it here tonight. Appreciate him. Yeah, 25 points over Joe Wells. So how things changed there with stages pointed out and stuff like that. But I think, honestly, we can point to those first 2 races with you and Al, that 37 cars we joked around and called it, leading those 67 laps and getting those 2 stage wins. And that kind of set the tempo. And not only that, but that win earlier in the block, that kind of set you forward to get this championship.
Yeah, tonight's championship, that is all due to James Hudson. I got caught up in a wreck there at the first caution. I had to use my fast. I didn't have to, but I figured I could get away with it. And then I got caught up in the second wreck and had about 4.5 minutes, and it would not stay in the pack. James connected to my bumper and stayed on me until 3 to go to make sure I stood in that pack. So without him doing that, I don't think I was able to get that done. So I'd really like to thank James, and shows that TNT, we were that one mishap away from sweeping this block and showing them who TNT is. But that was a fun race, man. I don't know if you got that move where I passed the whole field like Kyle Busch did on that restart, but that was fun.
You referenced it just like I did, and I was trying to remember what race it was. Was it the 400 or was that the shootout when he made that move? I think it was the 400, was it not?
I think it was the shootout.
Was it?
It might have been. It was either a duel or a shootout, I think.
He comes out
Could've
of
been
the
the
road
400.
hauling it. We had a name back in the day, me and friends. We called that Bone Stealer after a driver that was on iRacing because he liked to do that in NIS races. But obviously a move that helped you get up there, and as you mentioned with the damage and stuff and the help of your team. But talk about how big this is for you, because I mean, I'm not sure of your confidence level and stuff like that, and I didn't know you that well going into the season, so you know, it had to feel pretty good to be able to go out here and win a championship like this, even though, yeah, it's in a block of 4 races, but still, a win's a win.
Yeah, for sure. It gives me a lot of confidence. My group, we're always kind of like good at super speedways. Sam, he's only good at super speedways, but I won a couple races last year, and then I never won a block, but we got her done this time, and I've always been confident. I just had a rough start to the season, but we're finally getting it turned around. I broke my streak of top 2s, but 6 is not too bad with a win for the blocks. So I'll take it and move on from there. Get ready for the Gen 6s.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and send some shouts whoever you like to, bud.
First, I want to shout out you, of course. I can't wait to watch this back and see the hard race we did, and shout out my mom, my dad, my wife, of course, and the TNT, all the guys there. I really wanted to shout out Al again. It's his birthday, so that was cool for him to get that win, you know. We'll take this week off and regroup and get back in it.
Obviously, congratulations, man. Champion, they can't take that one away. I mean, obviously, a little far away from the overall title, but at least you got this one, and you can maybe go get a Gen 6 title, too.
Yep, that's the plan. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
have a good night.
You too, buddy. That is Dylan Picklesheimer, the winner tonight of the championship for the Gen 4 car. So congratulations, he and TNT, for a pretty stout run here in this Gen 4 block of racing. And was definitely a lot of fun to watch here. Excuse me. All right, before we take off here and head to bed, let's take a look at the overall standings from this block of racing. As Dylan Picklesheimer gets Joe Wells by 25, Gilbert falls to 4th, Al Likens moves up to 3rd, AJ Condon, Brian Hayes, Shane Ward, Stephen Melnick, Sam Taylor, and Ryan Wilson here, top 10 here in this block of racing. Al Likens becoming the only two-time winner here in this block. Dylan Picklesheimer and Travis Gilbert, the other two winners here. And then overall, Joe Wells with now a 100-point lead over Travis Gilbert. Shane Ward third, still out there on his own island. Melnick, AJ Condon, Al Likens all the way down to Dylan. Again, it's a very high number from 1st to 10th, but looks like it's going to be Wells and Gilbert battling it out here these last 4 races. So we'll see how that goes on. But again, next week we take the week off. We'll come back on the 18th from Daytona in the Gen 6 cars. And I'm going to continue to work on the stream and see if we can get these last 4 in. But it's almost over. I hate to say that, but in the end, we're going to make these 4 as best as possible and have some fun with it. Got a good group of guys here, and looking forward to Daytona next week, or in 2 weeks, I should say, for these the Gen 6 cars. So it should be a lot of fun. So big shout out to Vet2Track, of course, not only the Victory Lane sponsor, but they were the sponsor of tonight's Twisted Sister 250 and the sponsor of the league. Again, make sure you check out Vet2Track as they help out veterans getting on track and taking care of those who have fought for this country. A big shout out to those guys once again. Superior Templating Hard Charger Award tonight. Joe Wells started 17th, finished 2nd. Of course, the stage winners tonight both were actually Scott Wise, who got the Wise Guy iRacing graphic stage winners. And then the Vivid EV Pole Award tonight, the birthday guy, Al Likens,